you need to shut the fuck up.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Broadcasting live from the basement of a Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hello, everybody. It's Tuesday, September 19th, 2017, and it's fucking Tied Up Tuesday with me, Minx, and my fucking dogs, and Great Cloud. What's up, you guys? Oh, my goodness.
So, did you have a good week?
Well,
I guess.
Last week, yes. And then, so this whole week, I was not supposed to be working at all, right? Like, at all. Like, they were like, oh, we don't need you. Well, fuck me, right? Like, how am I supposed to fucking get my hours? But then someone from Labor and Delivery was like, hey, can you cover Monday for me? Yes, I can. So at least, I got 12 hours in yesterday. And then I got a text message from my manager at 10:30 last night asking if I could work today. And I was like, yes, I can. So I got 9 hours in today. And then I'm going to get 9 hours tomorrow as well. So it's turning into a good week so far. I'm actually working and I'm excited.
That's good.
Oh, speaking of work though. So I don't know if many people know what the like implant part of a like a knee replacement looks like as far as for the patella, but this is what it looks like. I dropped it today. So I kept it. Like as we were getting ready to actually insert it into the body because, there's fucking cement on it. And it got knocked out of my hand by the doc.
Nope.
What?
So, first of all,
yes.
How did it get knocked out of your hand?
Because I was handing it to him like this, the way I've always handed it to him. And then he hit my hand and it went, oh, and then gravity took over and then it was on the floor and we were like, shit.
So why don't you just brush it off and keep going?
That's not sterile. That's how people get infections, and that is frowned upon.
He'd be fine.
That's what antibiotics are for.
Exactly.
No, it's bad practice.
It's not like it's
Bad
10 inches of plastic that got left in the...
Oh my God, I know, right? Oh, but okay, so speaking of surgery, have to say really quick, happy Surgical Technologist Week. Woo! So all my 68 Deltas out there, happy Tech Week.
Oh, Lord.
But yeah, I found some memes that perfectly represent like our job. The fuck is that? And then and then this one's my favorite. And this is my strong hand. Yeah.
The reference card one is good.
It is good. Yeah, no, I fucking love it. But yeah, so that was, it's Tech Week, so I'm excited because breakfast and lunch is being bought for us all week, and like all the nurses and docs pitch in to give us something fun on Friday, like a little goodie bag. Last year we got like gift certificates to places, a shirt, some magnets, which I like magnets. Don't judge me. And yeah, I don't know, just like gift certificates into like food places. So that was fun. But yeah, so it's like my favorite week of the year.
Well,
at work, just at work, like not in real life, just at work.
Okay.
So I'm like, it's all about me.
That's a good way that's a good reason to have a good week
right?
at work.
Yeah, I think so too.
Stuff and food. I mean, come on.
Right? Exactly. And then, and then yesterday, my fucking, my dog attacked me. Like, not literally, but, you know, just would not take no for an answer. He climbed up into my lap, and then as I was like, you know, hey, Apollo, no. But all he heard was, oh, let me love you. And so, yeah, so that's him attacking me and just being an asshole. And, like, he stayed up there for, like, 10 minutes as I was dying. And I was like, help, I need assistance. So bad. Oh my God. But yeah, so that's been my week so far. How's your week been?
It's busy with school and work and commuting. But it's good. It's going well. The projects are coming along at work, so that's a positive. Got positive feedback from my boss about the job and the way we're going forward with everything. But the great news is all my teams are doing well. I'm supporting the Rockies tonight. They are in the playoff hunt. They are currently holding the second wild card spot in the NL. And there's 12 games to go. So let's go Rocks, and let's get into Rocktober and get far again.
Did you just say Rocktober?
Rocktober, yeah.
That's a thing?
That's a thing.
What?
Yep. And then my Broncos are 2-0 after decimating the Cowboys on Sunday. That was fucking amazing.
That was a good game. I thought my Niners were going to win. Like, it looked...
Did you really think they were going to win?
Dude, we were, what were we? We were down 6 by the second half, and then something happened, and we were like, hey, let's actually, I don't know, move the ball. And then we kept getting into the fucking red zone, but, you know, once we got, like, we couldn't fucking make it work when it counted, you know? It was like getting your date home and then fucking it up, and then she walks away, and you're just like, well, shit, you know? Yeah, you know.
It's like a ground rule double. Just doesn't cut it well enough.
Right, exactly. And you're just, damn it.
And then my Hawkeyes are 3-0. So, you know, it's
nice.
It's a good start to the football season, and the playoffs for baseball are looking promising. So there's that.
Right? Poor Spanky. She's on the call and she doesn't do like sports talk at all. She's probably just like, sports scene and more sports about sports scene.
She's that scene from the Lego movie. Go sports team.
Right? Yeah.
I like to watch them if it involves beer. That's about
right.
Like, and snacks. And I enjoy watching them. I just don't have teams and stuff.
Here's my sporting team. Gray Cloud, Joseph Lowens and Facebook Live wants to know how your golf game is.
It's sucking because I haven't swung a club since June because of the new job in school. So I'm in school on the weekends, and the job is 10 to 12 hours a day. So there's really no time to golf.
Right, but you have all those clubs.
I know. I do
What
have
do
awesome
they
gear,
do?
and it was working for me. But, other priorities at the moment.
I got okay, I do have a question. How many golf clubs does one need?
You're by USGA rules, you're allowed 14 clubs in the bag.
So how many do you have? You've got like 30 fucking clubs back there. Why do you need 30?
Because sometimes I mix and match sets depending on what I want to accomplish on the course and how confident I'm feeling with my swing. So I've got stiffer shafts for when I'm feeling really confident in my game.
Well, all right then. You want to get into some news?
Sure.
All right. Well, the first thing I wanted to talk about was Mexico got hit with a 7.1 earthquake, which rocked central Mexico this morning, killing at least 79 people as of the last count. Buildings collapsed in plumes of dust, and thousands fled into the streets in panic. The quake comes less than 2 weeks after another quake left 90 dead in the country's south, and it occurred as Mexicans commemorated the anniversary of a 1985 quake that killed thousands. The column of smoke rose from a structure in one central neighborhood in the capital, so it hit Mexico City and where is it? The little town or the town of, oh God, if anyone speaks Spanish, I'm so sorry if I fuck this up. Rebozo, like I can't do the whole rolling R, the thing. I can't do it. But it's in the state of Puebla, and that is 76 miles southeast of Mexico City.
Right. So update on the dead. Right now it's over 100.
It's over 100 now.
Yep.
Fuck.
I saw one that just said 104, and then I just pulled up CNN real quick and it says more than 100 dead. So
like,
right now the bar is 100.
I literally just got a thing, 5 minutes before we started, and it updated from 40 to 79, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a large upgrade. Like, let's fucking fix this. But now we're over 100. That's insane.
So, while we're on that, again, that goes back to the issue with 24-hour news, round-the-clock news cycles. First information is hardly ever accurate. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows this. So, I mean, the first one I heard today was the count of 12.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's the first count I heard this afternoon was 12 dead from the earthquake. And then I saw the 40 update. And then I saw the 104 when I sat down and started prepping for the show. And now it's over 100, so. Well, more than 100 is what the line is from CNN.
Right. Oh, fucking, that's ridiculous. I hope they find everyone, because I think the worst part would be not being able to find the body, because that sounds so harsh and cruel and shit, but at least if you have a body, you get some sense of closure.
Yes.
So whereas if you don't have one, you're still kind of up in the air, well, maybe they are still alive. We don't know. So, yeah. No good.
So while we're on, natural phenomenon and whatnot, so Hurricane Jose is out in the Atlantic still, moving its way up the coast here. Mm-hmm. Let's see if I can get the exact details. Oh, it's dead even with yours truly at the moment outside the MDW.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's there's no tropical storm reaching inland. Looks like the closest it's going to be is tropical storm warning and extended winds up through New England, maybe perhaps. And that's if it stays on its current projected path. And then we have Maria, which is getting ready to make direct impact with Puerto Rico.
Dude, they can't get a break.
Yep, and it looks like it's going to be a direct hit. Currently I thought I said a Category 5.
Oh, my God.
Yep, Category 5. Maximum sustained winds 175 miles an hour. And then there's a new tropical disturbance.
Oh, my God.
Disturbance 1. 10% chance, so it's not that bad. So it's a 10% chance of forming, having a cyclone formation in 48 hours. But that's still out way away.
Right, off the coast of Africa?
Actually, it's halfway between, it's like in the middle of the Atlantic Basin right now. But yeah, but it started in that same spot as Maria and Irma. So... Right?
Shit.
We'll roll the dice and we'll follow that one too.
Dude, I feel bad for Puerto Rico, like they're getting slammed.
Yeah. Well, with Irma, they only got a side swipe of Irma, but Maria's looking to make a direct impact.
Ugh. But and then speaking also of earthquakes, apparently Los Angeles had a 3.6 earthquake yesterday, but no serious damage was reported, and I'm pretty sure most of the people were like, wait, we had an earthquake? Like 3.6, like you feel a little rumble and you're like, was it an earthquake? I'm not really sure. Like the building kind of moved, but
It could have been somebody, that's angry.
Or if you live too close next to Amtrak and like, did the train just pass by? Like, I don't know. No, like legit. Call me when it hits like a 6.0 and then I'm like, oh, okay. Friggin'. Oh, all this is just gonna fucking convince that group of people that the world is in fact ending on the 23rd. Somehow a fucking big ass fucking planet is gonna appear out of nowhere and slam into us. Yes.
Well, that's this weekend. That would be interesting. That'd be interesting.
Right? You think NASA would have spotted it by now.
You would think so, with like advances in detection.
Right? And everything. And the fact that we've got fucking satellites everywhere, like filming and taking pictures of, I don't know, everything. The endless expanse that is space, and yet nothing's picked up a fucking torpedoing planet heading straight for us.
Torpedoing planet.
Out of fucking nowhere.
Oh, God.
I mean, that apparently, you heard it here first, folks. It's going to end on...
Watch for cosmic events on the 23rd.
Right, which is what, Saturday?
Saturday.
Oh, Jay Ready, you're going to have fun with that. Let us... Live coverage of the end of the world presented by Jay Ready on Saturday Night Savagery. The world's ending.
Jay Ready, if you get live shots of the planets colliding, I'll talk to the boss about getting you a day off.
Cause this is a threat to Spanky's snack supply. Spanky will save us.
Say that. She probably got snacks and she'll just stay holed up.
Right? That's where I'm going to be like, oh, snacks. So speaking of snacks, Spanky and I were talking about this before we got on air and how she and I need to find a protest to go to because she's going to have a sign that says, like, I'm here because they said there would be cake. And then my fat ass is going to be there next to her holding a sign that says, like, I'm with her. And there's going to be glitter and, we can use my fucking new crayon set because I haven't even broken into them yet. And I'm kind of really disappointed in myself because, I should have broken into my 120 count crayon set by now with sharpener included. I'm really excited.
You know how much glitter is in this house?
Oh!
The girl craft.
Yes. Oh, and ribbon.
Signs.
Oh my God. These are going to be like the best looking posters ever.
Now, how do you find a protest? That's the issue.
That's right. Like, how do you find a protest?
I'm like, do they announce these on Facebook? I haven't found them. I'm sure we can go down to Austin or, they probably have those there.
You would think that, but my one of my docs was just down in Austin and he's got some obscure relative or family friend or whatever that lives down there, and he's like, so how are all these protests? And the dude's like, what protests? They're not happening.
But that's my only bright idea because that's the only place where I know that liberals hang out.
Right? The only liberal place in Texas is Austin. Thanks, California. You're fucking ruining Texas.
Well,
But we can
there
at
you
least
go.
work on the signs and be prepared.
Right? Oh, yes. Oh, I'm sure if we, contact George Soros somehow, we can probably get on his payroll and then, show up.
Hey, no tinfoil hat tonight.
Dude, that's how it works.
I've made a note.
Jesus.
All right, so I really wanted to talk because everyone and their fucking mother, hey, you stop it, has been tagging me in that post about those fucking assholes down at Naval Hospital, Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah.
And like 3 people from the fucking chats have tagged me in it and like sent me the links and stuff. And they're like, this is going to piss you off. Yes, it does. And so for those of you who have been living under a fucking box or a rock or, some other inanimate object, a hospital in Florida had some staff members in their labor and delivery unit make a video of a corpsman making a newborn infant dance to rap music, which, that's safe because they have enough muscle support for their fucking heads, right? To where they're not going to flop around. Fucking idiots. And then another one your nails are way too long to be working in a hospital. That's number 1. 2, obviously you need to get that fucking gel coat on your nails redone because there's a lot of growth in there. Fix that shit. Number 2, obviously you're burnt out if you're sitting there flipping off an infant, which is literally doing nothing but being swaddled and laying there. And your caption is, "This is how I feel about these tiny satans." No. You do not need to be working in labor and delivery. You do not need to be around any sort of patient fucking care. You're fucking burnt out. You need a break. So, on that note, a hospital in Florida said it has identified and removed the employees who were pictured making inappropriate gestures with a newborn baby and making another one dance to a rap video. The photos, allegedly taken by a nurse employed at Naval Hospital Jacksonville, were captured on Snapchat and quickly shared on social media. In one photo, an unidentified staff member is reportedly giving the middle finger to a newborn alongside the caption, "How I currently feel about these mini satans." The next post allegedly featured a nurse making a newborn dance with rap music playing in the background. Facebook user blurred the newborn faces before sharing screenshots of the photo and video and urged others to call Naval Hospital Jacksonville and report the incident. The hospital quickly responded on Monday with a statement posted to its Facebook page, but did not identify the staff members by name or share the photos being circulated. We are aware of a photo posted online. It's outrageous, unacceptable, incredibly unprofessional, and cannot be tolerated. We have identified the staff members involved. They have been removed from patient care, and they will be handled by the legal system and military justice. We're in the process of notifying the patient's parents. Now, they are going to be facing UCMJ action because what they did is completely uncalled for, just like their fucking PAO person said. It's uncalled for, it's unprofessional, and it's absolutely just what's the right word? It's it's intolerable, the fact that you would fucking do that. They're fucking newborns. It's not like they fucking did anything to you. You're all I can think of is you're fucking burnt out, and you should have brought this up to your fucking chain before it got to this point. Go on leave or something, take a break. I don't know what to fucking it's inexcusable what these people did. Fucking poor excuses. They're poor fucking excuses for sailors. They're poor fucking excuses for healthcare providers. That's what it is. They should not ever be allowed to be in healthcare ever again. Those are my feelings.
No, and those are totally justified feelings. Yeah. I do hope that the both the military justice system and the criminal justice system come down on them quickly and severely. And there is no excuse for this. There is no backpedaling their way out of it. And I do hope that they are prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Something else I was reading on another story that's approximately, 3 hours old, is that Naval Hospital Jacksonville could also face a lawsuit.
And yes, actually they could.
What? And it has to do, it's more than the HIPAA violation than anything.
It does. What's up, Spanx?
Because I had the girl in a military hospital, and she wasn't allowed to leave my site. Like, there was no nursery or anything.
Mm-hmm.
She was not allowed to leave me or her dad's, site. Like, she wasn't allowed to leave the room. And, my best friend also had her kids in the military hospital, and the only time they took her son away was during his circumcision. That was the only time he was away from her.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, is it like different in different hospitals? Because she was never gone in a nursery or anything.
Nurseries are no longer utilized. The hospital I work at now, we have like a pseudo nursery, and like there's a window, and we keep all the empty bassinets there. But as far as collecting all of the newborns and putting them into one big room, that doesn't happen anymore because there's incidences of people snatching babies. Like, it's called a code pink. And when that shit happens, we lock down the hospital. And anyone who's seen with a fucking backpack and shit, I wouldn't say that you're tackled, but you are stopped and you are searched, and anyone who looks like who looks as though they are leaving our department in a hurry. Again, I'm not going to say that you're going to get tackled, but I'm implying it. And so so the only time that the baby would actually leave the room, especially at the hospital I'm at now, is if they are doing some lab work on them, if they are doing vital signs. But even then, they'll sometimes do vitals in the room with the mom and dad, And so the only time that baby is not in the room with mom and dad is when they are at the nurse's station. And like, friggin', that's honestly, like, that's the best time for me working there, because I'm like, babies! And they're so cute. Like, how can you call them a fucking mini Satan? Oh, hi. Oh, this is a mini Satan. This one right here, this is a mini Satan. A newborn child is not a fucking mini Satan. But yeah, so and then sometimes, like, during the night, we'll keep baby out longer than we normally would, just because, we're trying to let mom sleep a little and let dad sleep. And then, especially if they're bottle fed, like, we'll hang on to them for a little bit and almost play, like, pass the baby and, and like, take turns, feeding or rocking or comforting it. Especially newborns that go through withdrawals. I would not wish that on anyone. And so it makes me really mad when we've got parents that come in, and these moms who are about to fucking give birth, and they piss hot for meth. And like, you can't really do much except, be internally angry and call, like, obviously, call CPS and be like, hey, she fucking pissed hot for methamphetamines and she's about to deliver. So y'all might want to get social services down here. But, like, these fucking babies are born with going through withdrawals. And I don't know if anyone's ever heard a withdrawing infant scream. But that's what they do. It is an uncontrollable, inconsolable scream. And they're fucking shaking. And it's one of the worst things I've ever fucking seen and dealt with, because there's literally nothing you can do that'll bring them comfort, because their body is fucking jonesing for their next hit. You know? And, sorry, I kind of went off on a little tangent there.
Oh, no, it's fine. So I'll give you a quick feel-good story about
good, yes.
hospitals. Okay. So the brand new Steed Family Children's Hospital at the University of Iowa rises right above Kinnick Stadium, and looks down into the stadium from the 10th floor through the 12th floor. The new tradition that was started this year, which was suggested by a fan on social media, was that everybody in the stadium should turn and wave at those kids up there in the hospital. And I was a part of that first one on that first Saturday, and I tell you what, that was pretty awesome to be a part of. ESPN did a whole thing on it, and it is considered one of the best new traditions in college football now.
Oh, that's amazing. That makes me so happy. You know, because, like, they're fucking kids. They don't ask to be locked up in a hospital. Ugh.
So let's see if I can grab that link, and I'll drop it in the mixer quick.
Yeah. So there was that. And then, I found something on, about my favorite patron saint of feminism and feminists. All hail Hillary Rodham Clinton. God, she's such a tool. So, Miss Irrelevant, who continues to try to make herself relevant, has been, everyone knows that she has been going around on a book tour and giving all sorts of interviews as far as why she lost the election. And again, we fucking know what happened, hooker. Why the fuck, why would you come out? One, why would you name your book that when everyone alive knows what the fuck happened? Two, wait a couple years, before you fucking do this, because you just look like a desperate tool bag right now.
She's got to cash in while it's hot still. That's the only reason she did it, because she can still cash in on it.
It's not selling, though.
Well.
Because, again, we all know what fucking happened. So, the failed presidential candidate, Hillary Clinton, I found this article and I started laughing because I just love how it's written, claimed this weekend that she lost the election now because of women, in particular, white women, caved to pressure from the men in their life and voted for Trump. The quintessential modern feminist, Hillary Clinton, says women were too scared to stand up to their husbands, boyfriends, and fathers who told them to vote Republican. And since clearly women have no agency or ability to think for themselves, they listened. I mean, fuck, free will, right? Am I right, ladies? Ugh. Clinton made the outrageous claim in an interview with NPR, where she also blamed the so-called Bernie bros for bullying Democratic women into avoiding the more moderate Clinton in favor of progressive Bernie Sanders. She said, quote, you yourself in the book acknowledge that a good number of young women did not vote for you, which is presumably not a sexist choice. They just weren't inspired by your message, NPR's Rachel Martin said during an interview with Clinton, who, again, is out to promote her linity of excuses. Her recently released book. What happened? I think it's a lot more complicated than that, Clinton answered. I did win the women's vote. I didn't win the vote of white women, but I got more white women votes than Barack Obama did. But, said Clinton, even though women liked and respected her, where did she find these women? An observation American women might disagree with generally. They were too afraid to stand up to the oppressive patriarchal hand that often forces them to hide their allegiance to womankind. Quote, women will have no empathy for you because they will be under tremendous pressure. And I'm talking principally about white women. They'll be under tremendous pressure from fathers and husbands and boyfriends and male employers not to vote for the girl, she said. That is, of course, ridiculous. Women are not only capable of making decisions on their own, they've been doing it for decades, centuries even. The problem is, though, that women who are able to think for themselves eventually realize they are not bound to support candidates simply because they share the similar set of genitalia. The cause of womankind isn't always furthered by every female politician that steps into the arena. And when it comes to the ballot box, women have routinely told pollsters that they vote for the candidate they feel will have the best positive impact for their families. But lest you think Clinton's ire falls only on those dastardly oppressed Republican women who live under the thumb of their domineering fathers and partners, she extends blame to the female Bernie Sanders supporters who she says were cowed into supporting the progressive Bernie Sanders by online bullies. She said, and we saw a lot of that during the primaries from Sanders supporters. Really quite vile attacks against women who spoke out for me. As I say, one of my biggest support groups, Pantsuit Nation. Oh my God, okay, we're going to pause really quick. We're going to pause really quick right now. There's a fucking group out there called Pantsuit Nation.
Apparently so.
Oh my God. I need to find this.
Oh my God.
Just because I want to see what it's all about. Like, I need to see this.
Hey, put the front desk on that.
Right?
I'm in it. I've been added 17 times. I got tired of deleting myself out of it.
Oh my God.
It's actually worth it just because it's fucking hilarious.
Fucking Pantsuit Nation. This is amazing. All right, let me finish up here. One of my biggest support groups, Pantsuit Nation, literally, I can't even read it seriously, literally had to become a private site because there was so much sexism directed their way, she said. Pantsuit Nation, by the way, is far from a walled garden. Its founder recently received a 6-figure book contract, and the Facebook site has become a hub for women-led resistance. But hey, it's much easier to blame everyone but yourself, right? Woo! Feminism! Fucking, Woo!
Did you just flare that?
What?
Did you just Ric Flair that?
I might have.
Woo!
Yeah! Fucking woo! Feminism! And shit, I don't know.
So you brought up a good point about the voter thing, though. Because there was this was back when she ran against, for the primary against Obama. Mm-hmm. They were interviewing, potential voters and things like that. And the one that really caught my attention was they're interviewing this black female who owned a salon. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember where it was. I think it was in it was out here on the East Coast is all I remember. But they interviewed her and they were talking about, what she thinks about the voting and everything that's going down and, the historical precedents that this could set if either candidate won the nomination and won the presidency. And they asked her, well, how do you think you'll vote? What's important? And her response actually floored me. She goes, well, I don't know if I should vote for my gender or my race.
Wait,
and all I could think was,
wait, what?
not what you should be voting on.
Right? How about you look at each politician and what they stand for, and then you vote with your head. Maybe, I don't know. Unless I've been doing it wrong all these elections.
It just blew my mind that's what she said in a news interview, that I don't know if I should vote for my race or my religion, or race or gender.
That's both of those reasons are a stupid reason to vote for anybody.
Well, yes, but come on.
And I know I'm aware there's people out there stupid enough who do it. Example, that woman. But I love how each new interview that Hillary gives out,
it's always something new.
It's a new excuse. And
Right.
it's never, I fucked up. Sorry, I know you were about to say something.
So the most recent fuck up is it's the electoral college's fault.
Her husband's on the electoral college.
It blows my mind that all of a sudden it's the electoral college's fault. It should just be based on popular vote. That the founders designed this system back in the day when it made sense and blah, 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 blah. No, actually the founders are way ahead of their fucking time.
I was going to say.
In designing the electoral college and the way it's set up.
Right? I mean, if you think about it, even back then, the Northeast was more heavily populated by people who could vote than the rest of the country pretty much combined.
Yep. I mean, if you look at the map, right? The US county breakdown map. A handful of counties would have won the election.
Yeah. LA County would have been one of them.
Right.
Friggin'
based on popular vote. But that's not how it was designed, and it was for that very reason it was designed the way it was designed, to make it happen, to keep that from happening, to keep a small I don't want to use small population because that's not right, because it's a very large population.
Yeah. But a small percentage of the country.
Right. Is to keep everything in balance throughout the entirety of the United States, so everybody's views are represented and have a fair shot of being represented.
No, I want her to fucking admit that she fucked up and just bow the fuck out gracefully. Just fucking admit that you messed up and you fucking lost. That's all you really have to do. She's just making herself look like a desperate fool right now. Keep paying attention to me. I'm still fucking relevant. I'm still here. I haven't croaked out yet. It's sad. It's sad how desperate she is to keep in the spotlight, to keep having her name thrown out there. I mean, I know I'm not fucking, or I know I'm helping her cause because, I fucking talk about her, but.
Yeah, no, you're not.
No.
But hold on a sec. Hey, Doc, send the main page a message, and we'll put you in touch with some of the guys that we'll try and put you in touch with the Green Room guys.
But, yeah. Fucking Clinton, dude. She can't go away. She can't fucking do it. And I don't understand why. Just bow the fuck out. Leave now while it's still somewhat socially acceptable. And then just fucking fade away.
It's not going to happen.
I know.
Seriously, and I hate to say that, there's a whole generation of politicians that just need to go away.
Yes.
Literally. And again, this brings us all the way back to Trump winning the presidency and Kid Rock running for Senate. And if he wins the Senate, that Senate seat.
Oh my God. Okay, so my doc and I were actually talking about that today. We were like, Because, like, we were in the middle of what were we doing? We were doing a boring case, and I was just like, I don't know what to talk about. Which I know, like, for most people, they're, like, on here, they're like, what? You don't know what to talk about? I'm not a talkative person, like, real life. I'm not. I know it's shocking, but anyways. But I was like, oh, yeah, did you hear that, you know, Kid Rock's running for senator? And my doc was like, I fucking hope he wins. Friggin'. But yeah, you know, and one thing that I always thought was, you know, what's the right phrase? Not inappropriate relationship, but, like, would it be an inappropriate relationship where, you know, one of the presidential candidates' spouses on the Electoral College? Oh, conflict of interest. That's what it is. Like, wouldn't that be a fucking conflict of interest? 1, 2, how do you even get chosen to be on said Electoral College? And 3, why the fuck was he allowed to be on it? I have questions.
Which one is this?
Fucking this last election, dude. Bill Clinton was part of the Electoral College. Wouldn't that be a conflict of interest considering his wife was running for president? Because, again, the state that he was representing, he would have voted for her whether his county wanted him to or not. No, you can't tell me he wouldn't have. You can't tell me that he would. If you cannot convince me that if the people he is supposed to represent voted for Trump, that he would have cast his fucking Electoral College vote for Trump. You cannot convince me that he would have done that.
Now, I will say this. There are rules in place to keep that kind of stuff from happening. Now, let's say Trump did win and he cast out. The first thing they would do is look at the rules of casting Electoral College votes for that state. Okay. Now, if the rules state Electoral College members casting a vote can cast it in any way they choose, you don't have a fight. But if the rules state that he must cast the vote with the way the state falls, then you would have a fight. You would have a no shit legal issue. And that's what they were all trying to do, is that, you know, when the election was happening, you know, and they're trying to certify the Electoral College and all this other stuff, is that when Trump won, because everybody was upset that Trump won, they didn't want him to win, and all this other garbage, they were looking for ways to get around that and have the Electoral College cast their vote the other way. Well, there are rules in place that say that they will cast with the way the state went.
Allegedly.
Now, again, they could do what they want, and then that's when they certified, when the Electoral College voted and it all still went to Trump, that's when they wanted the Congress to step in and not certify the vote.
Right.
Just,
God,
you know.
they tried so fucking hard to get him to not be president. It was a bit ridiculous. Like, I don't ever remember any other election. What, Hooker? Fucking mini Satan right here. Not an infant, but this fucking dog is mini Satan. Normally I reserve that title for cats because some cats are assholes, but you know, whatever. Anyways. Shit, what? Oh yeah, so like this election is the only time I can remember where it was still kind of like, holy shit, is he actually going to be president? Like, are they going to allow this to happen? And it wasn't until like he was sworn in when I was like, okay, no, like he is, okay, so he is legit president. Like, okay, good. Like, I don't want that fucking hag to get it.
Now, here's what makes this even awesomer. So I had an outside theory running that And I would, because I played with the Electoral College map and all that.
Yeah.
And I really wanted Gary Johnson to win one state, like New Mexico. It had to be like a New Mexico or something like that down in the Southwest. One, is where he had some support, and two, it was a legitimate big enough state to really throw some shit in the. So I started looking at this a little bit, and some small research I did, nothing in depth, is that so if he could have pulled off like winning New Mexico and or one other state, and it's thrown off the count for both of them, nobody would have won the required 270. Okay.
So then, would they do a revote, or
no? At that point, it does go to the Congress to decide, and the way it's written is that they must choose the president from the top 3 candidates who are running for president.
which would have been Johnson, Clinton, and Trump.
And Trump, okay? And then, so the House decides the president. The Senate has to choose from the top 2 remaining candidates or some shit like that. The top 2 finishing candidates. So, because the Senate is basically voting for their own president, to run the Senate.
Yeah.
So they get to pick the VP. So when you start thinking about this and you start throwing all, your tinfoil hat stuff out there, either way, Trump was in. If you look at it that way, he was going to be in the White House in some way, shape, or form. And do you really think a Republican-controlled Congress was going to put Clinton in as the president?
I want to say no. I do. I want to have the benefit of the doubt. But you have to really enunciate each syllable, right? Or letter, whatever. Fucking words and shit. The Clintons have their fucking spider web of a fucking hand with little branches that go everywhere. And they run deep and they touch many, many, many people throughout Congress. And going off the show last week in my fucking tinfoil hat show, if someone gets in their fucking way, they end up offing themselves or end up missing.
Oh, Jesus.
It's true. And with how many times Clinton was summoned before the Senate to Senate hearings about some of the shit that she had done and the amount of times that she got off.
Phrasing.
Yeah. Giggity. There's no if it had gone to Congress, I would worry that a lot of these lifetime Republicans or the fucking McCains and shit, he would have totally voted her in.
Do you really think that?
Yes.
Why do you think that?
Because I don't like McCain.
Oh, well, there's that.
Yes, and he's been super buddy with the Clintons a lot.
No, come on.
How has he not?
He's a good guy.
How? I'm sorry. He's a good guy? All right, hold on. Let's think about this. Hold on. Since I used to live there, you think he's a good guy. Which state is he senator for?
Arizona.
Oh, okay, yes. Which state has one of the worst VA hospitals in existence?
Not Arizona.
Arizona. More specifically, the motherfucking Phoenix VA. And the fact that he himself is a goddamn veteran and he let his own state's VA become the worst in the country is ridiculous. And I hope, and the fact that he keeps fucking supporting this Affordable Care Act, it's fucking helping everybody. I want him to fucking use it to get his fucking treatment for brain cancer. I want and that brings me to another thing. I want every single fucking congressperson who supports the Affordable Care Act to be subject to its laws, which there's a fucking clause in it where the people of Congress can opt out of it. Why is that? Why is it that they can choose to opt out of it and not pay a fine, but yet you and me and regular Joe Schmo, we don't have a fucking choice?
Because they're the Congress. And that's what people need to wake up and understand. And that's why people are getting, this and that. And, they want to, everyone is starting something in a race. When they actually realize that they have the people have more power than they realize. Just start voting people out. Have recall elections.
But I mean, what's good for the goose should be good for the gander, Like, if it's good enough to become a law for every fucking everyday American out there, it should be fucking good enough for everyone in Congress. And if they're going to make it a law like what they did, they're the ones who are supposed to, create laws, and therefore they should be subject to them. They should not write a clause in a law that says they are above that law. And that's exactly what they did with the Affordable Care Act.
Yep. Led by, Pelosi and those guys.
Yeah.
Casey Lynn. Yes. So the House chooses the president and the Senate chooses the vice president. So, yeah, no, I agree. Yes, the Congress, and it used to be it used to be the norm. Congress shall make no law that for the people that they are not subject to themselves.
And it's gotten out of hand. And I agree with you. People need to fucking vote these old bitches out. Like, everyone who's been in there for, I don't know, a couple decades, they need to get the fuck out. Your old, crusty ass needs to move the fuck on. That's what needs to fucking happen. And, see, you and I agree about this.
Yes.
Not about everything, but about this we do.
Yes.
Holy fuck balls. And just like that. Oh God, I gotta work on that. I have to work on not swearing. Shit.
There's no fucking fun in not swearing. What the hell?
Well, like the F-bombs. I need to control that.
It keeps your audience entertained.
Well, I mean, this one, but got big things going, and I can't be doing that all the time.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
Big things. Oh,
yes.
Speaking of big things, before we go on break, everyone know, just throwing this out there, we are getting a new lunchtime show. And you should be seeing teasers for it here soon. So, yeah, get ready for it. It goes live October 3rd, right? Or 2nd? 3rd. The 3rd. Goes live October 3rd. We'll do it live! Sorry, I just amuse myself way too much. But yeah, all right. So we are going to go on break, and we shall be back here shortly. So see you guys in a couple minutes. Oh, and the feed's going to restart and all that good shit. Okay, we'll be back.
Take this photograph, tell me what it is you see when you look at me. Deep into the photography, I don't really need your sympathy, just tell me your thoughts. Have I got what they got, and is it a plot done for naught? Am I not like you because I do what I do? Who knew that I could lose a few of you cause I bleed blue? But it's true, I know cause I see it every day as I work and I sleep the day away. Like you I have pain, and like you I have fear. Can I pay all of the bills and still make it through the year? Will I make it home alive? Should I pray to the sky every day and every night? Will I hold you by my side? But in the public eye, I don't even have a heart. A robot of the system moving only when I'm told to start. Rip apart my art, I'm strong like a flower blooming. You got it all wrong, I know I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need. And like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
Call me a vet like a soldier, Green Beret, 21 gun salute, don't wanna see today. In a constant war zone, in the home of the brave, where they hate the police until they saving the day. I got kids like you, a mortgage like you, so blue lives matter, and so does yours too. All this separation and divide, open your eyes. If you cut us all open, we the same inside. The only difference is I run to the gunfight, get peace when it's chaos, when the people don't act right. But I'm under scrutiny for trying to protect me. You pull a pistol and I'm shooting for trying to contest me. I got a quick second to make a deadly decision. The media betrayed me like a kid for a living, like I'm cold with no heart, a brain with no thoughts, a body with no feeling, a life with no cause.
Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. I'm damned if I do, and damned if I don't. It's like every single time I say what's on my mind, they go from my throat, they spew evil words. A few are absurd, always grinding, grinning, and killing my soul with these verbs. Hold me down, like I can't gasp for air. I'm closed inside of a box, like I'm inside Fort Knox. Every time that I'm there, I don't know why they think that I'm different from you. All that's true is I'm a like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see. And like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Think of when we're all alone in bed.
everybody. Well, I'm back right now. Grey Cloud will be right back.
I'm here.
Oh! Wait. Oh! There he is.
Wow.
I know, right? I'm so excitable tonight.
Yeah, See if I bring you any cookies next time.
You bring me cookies?
No.
You know how to bake?
If you mean by bake, store-bought, then yes.
Oh, well, no.
No. 'Cause I'm a sucker for the sugar cookies with the frosting on them from the store.
Yes. Friggin'. Well, I did a lot of talking the last hour, so I want you to talk about something that you want to talk about.
You were all about this and that and feminista, this and, so I was like, eh.
Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
Well, apparently there was some kind of to-do at the UN today.
Ooh, yes. Okay, go.
All right. So the lead on the headline lead I've got is Trump warns U.S. will destroy North Korea in UN General Assembly speech. And all I've heard is that this is the most awesomest speech that he's given since being president of the United States. In fact, somebody actually said, and I wish I could find out who, I'll see if I can find it, but somebody actually made the comment that they didn't know if they were listening to Trump or to Ronald Reagan.
Oh.
Now, let that sink in for a second.
So, yes! Oh, they're comparing him to Reagan? You remember Reagan? I remember.
Yeah.
You remember? I remember.
Really, that was the tone of the speech that he gave at the UN. Was they didn't know if they're listening to Trump or Reagan. So to be put in that light, to be put in that comparison, Reaganomics, Trump. Yes, Doc, Reaganomics, Reaganomics, Trump style. But it kind of gives you an idea for the tone of the speech that he gave at the UN and the kind of I don't want to say the way forward, but the way he probably should be speaking most of the time, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
So let me pull up. So just so everybody knows, I'm pulling up from CBS News a little recap of the speech. Also, the quote of the speech: "Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and his regime."
Oh my God.
It is a nickname he has recently used in tweets.
He called Asian Cartman Rocket Man?
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant.
Not just in tweets, apparently, but at the UN General Assembly.
Oh, that's right. And the best part is, though, is like while he's talking about this, they had a junior delegate from North Korea literally right in front of him.
That's awesome.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. I love it. Okay. Sorry. Keep going.
No, it's fine. Mr. Trump said the regime's reckless pursuit of nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles threatens the entire world with unthinkable loss of human life. It is an outrage that some nations would not only trade with such a regime, but arm, supply, and financially support a regime that imperils the world with nuclear conflict. So that's a dig at China, and that's a dig at Iran. That some nations would not only trade with such a regime, but arm, supply. Describing the North as a depraved regime, Mr. Trump blamed it for the starvation deaths of millions, and for imprisonment, torture, and oppression of countless more. And he cited the case of American student Otto Warmbier. My apologies for mispronouncing that if I did. Who died after being held in North Korea captivity. For those of you who don't know, that was a student that went down there, pulled down the political sign or the political flag or whatever, and then was sentenced and returned to the U.S. in a coma. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg told CBS that Mr. Trump's comments towards North Korea was yet another example of his strong rhetoric and strong language. We've seen the international community condemning North Korea of the developing of nuclear weapons and long-range missiles. The importance of working together to make sure that North Korea bounds its missile program and refrains from more testing. It is a threat toward all of us and requires a global response, said Stoltenberg. He added, there is no easy way out, no easy answer, but that the international community needs to find something in between doing nothing and using military force. Well, so here's my whole take on that. Between doing nothing and doing military force. I'm pretty sure those are called sanctions that they've been trying, and we've gotten nowhere with them. And in fact, when they talked about sanctions the other day, what after the nuke test they did, we've gotten what else can you take from them? What other sanctions can be imposed against the North Korean regime?
No, exactly. Like,
what's left?
We've only done it, I think it's 6 times in the last couple of years. And each sanction continues to get more and more oppressive, if you will. And what's the right word? I guess controlling. Is oppressive the right word?
Possibly.
Right? I don't know. But severe. That's a good one too. But yeah, each one continues to get more intense.
Yeah.
So no, I fucking agree. I love the fact though that our president and our UN ambassador are on the same page, and they're both like, time to free up Mattis. Yes. Yes, let's do it.
Oh, great quote. As long as I hold this office, I will defend America's interest above all else, but in fulfilling our obligations to our own nations, also realize it's everyone's interest to seek a future where all nations can be sovereign, prosperous, and secure, he added. I will defend America's interest above all else.
Which is what he should do. He's our president. That's what that's what they're fucking supposed to do. They're supposed to make sure that we're fucking safe and that our interests are seen first and taken care of first. Fuck everybody else. But
No. No. He on his America First ideology, in America the people govern, the people rule, and the people are sovereign, says Mr. Trump, saying he was elected to serve the people of his country. Mr. Trump delivers an America First message to international bodies, saying, I will put America first, just like you, as leaders of your countries will always and should always put your countries first. Okay. So basically just tearing so it took his speech and then tore it into different parts of it. In the article I'm looking at. Again, if you guys want to see that article, it's on cbsnews.com is where I found the article about the Trump address in the UN today.
I saw, the article I'm looking at, it says a junior North Korean diplomat sat in the delegation's front row seat for Trump's speech. Right? The North Korean UN mission said the mission did not immediately respond, however, to a request for comment. I wonder why. In Germany, Chancellor Angela Merkel said she would do everything in her power to ensure a diplomatic solution. She's quoted as saying anything else would lead to disaster. Now, North Korea is not the only country Trump took after. So apparently his speech lasted 41 minutes. And he went off not only on North Korea, but also took aim at Iran's nuclear ambitions and regional influence, Venezuela's collapsing democracy. Oh, fuck yeah, I said the name right. And the threat of Islamic extremism and the Cuban government. He's quoted as saying major portions of the world are in conflict and some, in fact, are going to hell. Oh, yes. And then I don't like how this article is kind of like left-leaning a little because they're making it sound as though being a nationalist is bad.
Well, where'd you get your article?
That is a great question. Where did I get it? You know... Oh, yeah, by the way, 119 dead from that earthquake in Mexico this morning.
Oh, still claiming.
119, yeah. Let's see. If I can find it now. Of course I can't find it. Oh, let's see. MSN. So there we go.
So there you go.
There we go. But yeah, okay. So because they're saying, his speech recalled the fiery nationalist language of his January 20th inaugural address when he pledged to end what he called an American carnage of rusted factories and crime. Again, I'm not sure why this is being portrayed as a bad thing. What's wrong with having pride in your country?
Because you're not helping all the little people.
Neither is anybody else, so why should we?
Because we're the good guys.
No, but we need to stop being. We need to stop taking care of everybody else and realize that we have our own people that need to be taken care of.
Concurred.
Maybe, I don't know, but you can't say that now without being labeled a racist, xenophobic bigot. And I'm sure there's a couple others in there too some other adjectives that I forgot to throw in.
You're probably correct.
I mean, obviously I'm sexist because I did not vote for Clinton. So there's
Which
that.
is interesting because you're a female.
Yes.
So I'm not sure that's how that works.
I don't know either. Fucking feminism. Woo! Fucking.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right? Okay. So side note, feminism these days is a fucking joke. And that's all I gotta say. Feminist, you are a joke.
I saw somebody in a mixer chat earlier that said, I remember when they just wanted to be pregnant, work harder than men, and burn their bras.
Right? It's so true, though. But yeah, fucking... so this article goes on to say... and so, like, all these... They got comments back from, Iran, Venezuela, and what was the other one? Cuba, that's right. And, like, all three of them have jumped on this hipster fucking alt-left phrasing of, Trump's Hitler. Trump's Hitler, hands down. And again, I want to, like, anytime someone says that to me, like, in person, I always ask them, like, oh, okay. That's your opinion. However, I have questions. How? And when I ask them to, like, make a comparison of the two, I'm like, but how is he like Hitler? Yep. And they can't do it.
Like people.
Huh?
Last time I checked, he's not gassing people.
Right? He's not shipping people off to concentration camps.
A big requirement to be Hitler is you have to gas your own people.
Right? That's a big one. Genocide is number 2. Mm-hmm. Last I checked, he hasn't started attacking any Jewish people, so...
And he hasn't invaded a country to his north or south.
Right? He hasn't made up a reason to fucking invade Canada or Mexico, which is a requirement.
Could happen.
Right? Like, he hasn't started dishing out all sorts of, like, propaganda about a certain class of people to where now everyone is afraid. And oh wait, he has not taken away free speech. That is something Hitler and the SS did. What else? Yeah, no, he just, I don't see the comparison. But, you know, I'm a white female, so obviously I am, I don't know. I don't even know at this point. Fucking my white male privilege is showing, I guess.
What?
Yeah. Oh no, I said that right. You fucking heard me correctly. I said my white male privilege, because obviously if I'm not on board with all these extreme feminists, then obviously I'm still being, you know, what was the phrase? Controlled by the patriarchy or some bullshit. God, like, ugh. Oh, Dale brings up a good point in Facebook Live. He is also not killing the mentally challenged, crippled, or, quote, such type people. Right? Yeah. Fucking. I really think, though, that we should, like, hey, modern age feminists, let's get this thing going, right? Let's repeal the 19th. I think it's a good idea. Obviously, women cannot be trusted to vote, as Hillary Clinton has so generously pointed out.
She was quick to say that women failed her not voting.
Women cannot be trusted to vote, because obviously we are going to vote as how our partners want us to vote, instead of being a free thinker and voting for who we want. So fuck it. Repeal the 19th. Let's just fucking get rid of it. We don't need to fucking vote. We don't need to vote. It's fine.
What's that funny haha floating around out there on the internet? It says somebody's moving to the Middle East where women have more rights.
Oh, Ashley Judd. Ashley fucking Judd said that. And I saw that, and like I did one of those, like, huh? And like that noise and everything came out.
That's gotta be fake news.
I hope, like, on one hand, I hope so, because I hope nobody is that fucking dumb. But on the other hand, I wouldn't be surprised if she did. So there's that.
Yes, there is that.
There is that. But yeah, so back to Big Daddy Trump at the UN. So his strongest words were in fact directed at North Korea. He urged UN member states to work together to isolate the Kim government until it ceases its hostile behavior. He says, and then he turns to Iran, and he called the 2015 nuclear deal negotiated by his predecessor, Obama, an embarrassment, and hinted that he may not recertify the agreement when it comes up for a mid-October deadline.
I saw that in North Korea. Iran issued some kind of veiled threat too.
Right. They did. But Trump said, we cannot abide by an agreement if it provides cover for the eventual construction of a nuclear program. The Iranian government, quote, masks a corrupt dictatorship behind the false guise of democracy. So Iran's foreign minister, Mohammad Zarif, I don't know, one of those. It starts with a Z, ends in an if, tweeted a withering response saying Trump's ignorant hate speech belongs in medieval times, not the 21st century UN. Unworthy of a reply. Fake empathy for Iranians fools no one. Which, again, this continues along the fucking line of like, oh, it's hate speech. Is it though? Like, and how do you classify hate speech? Is it if I just disagree with what you're saying and like, oh, hate speech. It's fucking hate speech. You need to stop.
Anything he says will be hate speech to the other side.
Yes.
I mean, seriously. I mean, let's be real about this.
All right. Oh, Christopher, good point. We do have to be careful. Hillary does have a body count.
Stephen Misters, a lot of people said they were moving to Canada if Trump got elected. He's got a point.
Yeah, no one's moved.
To
no
Canada.
one's moved. Right? Still waiting.
Still waiting.
The French president, in his UN speech, said his country would not close the door to negotiations over North Korea and staunchly defended the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, renouncing it would be a grave error. I don't see how, but, according to Macron, it is. Trump called the collapsing situation in Venezuela, quote, completely unacceptable, and warned the United States was considering what further actions it can take there. We cannot stand by and watch, he said. Venezuela rejected Trump's threats and said it was prepared to resist any U.S. actions, even a military invasion. It was at what was billed as an anti-imperialist rally in Caracas. The Venezuelan president described Trump as a new Hitler of international politics. He thinks he is the owner of the world, but no one threatens Venezuela, he said. You're threatening Venezuela yourself, sir. Like, I'm just going to throw that out. You're fucking threatening your own country. Like, how can you fucking look at your country and be like, oh, yeah, no, we're doing good. We're doing fucking good. We're good. Like, what? Your fucking people have to ration toothpaste because they can't fucking afford to buy it. How is your country doing good? Like, and as, on the one hand, I don't want us to get involved, but at the same time, like, how can we allow this to continue? Like, their people are starving.
So, Doc's got an interesting question. A couple questions in Mixer chat here. I don't think we can pull out a NATO by executive order, because I do believe that it's an actual treaty. I think that I have to go through Congress. I have to look into that a little more. And then the UN is kind of a weird animal altogether, because I don't think that's a treaty. I think we're just a part of it. And then now going to war with the People's Democratic Republic of Korea, North Korea, best Korea. He could use presidential power to mobilize the military for a strike against North Korea. He could. But that could not last longer than 30 days without congressional approval. With that being said, the recent reauthorization and the recent increasing of the troop levels in Afghanistan and the refocus on that mission over there in the Middle East, and that AOR would really strain not only capabilities and resources of the military, but it might not leave the American people sitting so well.
Doc also wants to know, do you think Congress has enough power to back him and pass a bill?
Pass a bill for what, Doc?
Maybe for war? I don't know. For an invasion, right? That's what they've got to do, right?
So they'd have to authorize anything more than 30 days. Congress would.
Do you think that would pass?
A resolution for war. We would, man. If we were attacked first.
So what you're saying is that we have to sit idly by while, like, we as a nation, or we to include our allies? Sorry, that was the first question.
Well, so...
Because he's aiming for fucking Japan. Sure, they're fucking shooting over Japan. But
right. So
at the
the
same
thing
time,
about
that's our
it
ally.
is, so there's Article 5 in the NATO treaty is an attack on one is an attack on all. Okay. So with that being said, if somebody were attacked as a part of NATO, it would put us in a bind that we would have to go to their aid in their defense and help them. When it gets really tricky in that part of the world, because those are whole different alliances and whole different treaties. But there is an agreement, as far as I know, with both South Korea and Japan that we will come to the aid of each other if needed. So, again, now if there's an imminent threat against us or one of our partner nations or one of our allies, I think he would be able to authorize a first strike. Again, it goes back to that whole discussion we've had several times on here and on Sarn's time, is that we would have to have overwhelming evidence to convince one, not only the Congress and the generals that this needs to happen, but two, the American people. Because remember, the American people have to buy into it as well.
Which, with the shift of mindset to like how people view our international affairs now versus, 16 years ago, I think that would be very difficult.
And that's why I'm saying that, is that the American people are kind of wary and tired of conflict.
But okay, so something you said kind of struck me. Considering, who our president is, and how much international support he has, according to the mainstream media, which is, if you were to listen to them, he has hardly any. I personally don't think that's true. However, what you said about, NATO Article 5, an attack on one is attack on all. So, in theory, going off of that, if North Korea was to attack anyone in NATO, the rest of NATO would be going in to fuck up North Korea, right? In theory. That's what's supposed to happen.
Yes.
So, now I'm questioning whether or not they would abide by this agreement.
They would expect us to. Now, let's back that up. So, go back to the incident where Turkey shot down the Russian fighter jet.
Yes.
Okay, Turkey is a member of NATO. If Russia would have turned and attacked Turkey and declared them shooting down that fighter jet an act of war, where does that put the U.S. and the rest of Europe? A lot of them that are NATO members. Ooh. What kind of bind does that put them in?
Right? If someone in NATO attacks someone else in NATO, you're like, well, fuck.
Russia's not a part of NATO.
Oh, they're not?
No, as far as I know, they're not.
Learn new things every day.
Yep. So because that was a big discussion when that happened.
That's right. Everything got froggy for a second. We're like, what do we do?
Turkey gets attacked. Article 5 of NATO gets invoked, and then we're at war with Russia. I mean, just bang, bang, bang. And that's why everybody was on edge when that happened. Like, they didn't know what Russia was going to do. Because again, Russia declares that an act of war, and then it's, there it is. There's World War III getting ready to happen.
Right. So Allie Maloney from, I hope I said your name right, by the way, from Facebook Live, she's curious about the military solutions that don't put South Korea at risk.
There are none.
I was going to say, Allie, there are none.
There's no military solution where South Korea is not at risk for any kind of strike, or Japan for that matter.
Right. or the Philippines or Guam or
Yeah. So there's nothing that keeps South Korea other than there's no military solution that keeps South Korea from getting struck, attacked. I don't know. But there's nothing that keeps them out of the situation.
It's just this whole thing is I do like how he said, like, we must not sleepwalk our way into war. I do like how he is like, if this is where it's going to go, we need to be prepared and we need to be aware that this is what's happening and we're not caught by surprise.
Right.
So.
But I don't think he wants a fight. I really, truly don't think he wants a fight.
Do you think he's taking do you think he's almost like listening and taking a Mattis approach to it where it's like, please, let's try to fucking get along because I don't want to have to kill you.
Right. So I really don't think he's looking for a fight. I think he just, but he's not afraid to have a fight.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't want to fight, but he's ready for the fight, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
No. Yeah. So, and again, it's the last thing anybody wants right now. Well, not anybody.
Right? Fucking Asian Cartman kind of. I think was it you who told me that fucking theory?
Oh yeah.
Where
theory,
like
he wants to do it just so he can save his people or something.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be a great theory if we could understand him.
Which we can't.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah. Oh, talk about tinfoil. Yes, I need to go break mine out.
Lord.
You started this.
It's a plausible theory.
It is. I mean, to an extent.
Anything is plausible.
Yeah.
But is it probable? Probably not.
Yeah. It's Sean Farrell. He's psychotic. He wants hell and brimstone to run the earth. I'm not sure who you're talking about there. Either Daddy Trump or, Asian Cartman.
Well, depending on who you talk to, it could be either way.
Right? And Terry brings up an excellent point. The Senate did just approve a $700 billion federal fund for the military to equip and train.
That's great.
Yeah, but
there's still that's great that they passed that for the military, but there's still the looming government
shutdown.
Yeah.
When is that supposed to happen?
I don't remember.
But all right.
I thought it got extended like for 3 months or some garbage.
I think it might have with the passing of that the Harvey Disaster Relief Fund. They fucking
No, it's the debt ceiling.
Oh.
Two different issues.
Which I hate that they tied that to a disaster relief.
Yeah.
But,
well, Congress and money.
Yeah. Scott also brings up a good point. Yes. Well, 2 good points, Scott Carlson. Yes, that is a run-on sentence. You are correct. But 2, he said, usually there's fear of whoever takes over after one idiotic dictator is taken out. And that is that, the next one is worse than the one that we just took out. So who would be worse than Little Man in North Korea?
Rodman. I'm just saying. He,
right?
Could happen.
Friggin'. Oh, I saw a video yesterday. I think yesterday, Sunday, I don't know, one of those. It was a day though. I do remember that. And it It was here recently where it was a South Korean interviewing North Koreans that had, either escaped or, escaped North Korea and fled their way into South Korea. And it was, how do you view Americans? And apparently they like to view us with like these big ass noses.
Yep.
And right, and that's weird. Like my nose is actually pretty small, but whatever.
Big round eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, and how we're nothing but like monsters. Yay, propaganda!
Woo!
Woo! It's so good. Yeah. Oh, Joseph, yes, we could always just ship Obama to North Korea, right? Yes. Oh my God, yes. Yes, let's do it. It sounds like a plan.
North Korea, best Korea.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways.
Oh, speaking of Daddy Trump.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yes. Well, I don't know about oh, yes. But do you remember after he got elected, he was saying that he had been wiretapped? And everyone was like, it's a conspiracy. That didn't happen. And the ones who fucking pushed it as though it was a conspiracy was CNN.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, CNN has changed their story.
Yep. And I saw that whole breakdown of the tweets. It was hilarious.
Right? Friggin'. So, yeah, the Obama administration definitely had wiretapped Trump Tower during the campaign for unknown reasons. So I just thought it was awesome. I was like, oh, he was right. Just saying. Yeah. I saw it and I was like, oh, shit. But I just think it's like ironic that it was CNN and it was like, just kidding. But yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, right?
Oh,
like,
man.
we done fucked up. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh. Let's see here. I'm checking on the quick thing.
Oh, yeah. No, go for it.
What's the last number you had?
I had 119 for that earthquake.
30.
130 now?
More than 130 is the count.
Goodness.
Well, 139 is the count that CNN is reporting right now.
Negative 7.1, that's a big-ass fucking earthquake.
1's pretty massive, yes.
Oh, and for it to happen, right outside of Mexico City, where it's gonna go up. It's gonna.
There's a chance it's gonna keep going up.
Yeah, I'm thinking a couple hundred, if not low thousands.
I don't think it'll be that many.
You don't? It's Mexico City.
Yeah, but come on.
Do you know how many people live in that city?
A lot, but come on.
And do you really think all of those buildings are up to like earthquake code?
Yeah, come on.
No. Doubt. Like, especially in like, the poorer areas. Because let's face it, it's a large city, so there's going to be ghettos. Building structures in ghettos tend to not always be to code or to standard. It's a fact of life. Like, it's a fact. It's a shitty fact, and it shouldn't happen like that, but it's a fact.
Let's see here. Doc, I don't know if they're expecting any aftershocks right now. That's just something that's always constantly monitored. Stefan, yeah, the direct hit's going to suck for Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Because Maria is aiming straight for it. And it's funny because I work with a Puerto Rican nurse who's named Maria, and I was like, why are you attacking your island? And she's like, I know, but all my family's gone. So I was like, oh, okay.
Right. And Doc Dill always mentioned the possibility of aftershocks because that's just the way plate tectonics work. There's always that possibility that they could happen. It's never guaranteed. It's not something you can predict.
Right. Scott Carlson, Mexican building code. I mean, I don't know. They might. I don't know how Mexican government works. I barely speak Spanish. God damn it. I think okay. So this is the extent of my Spanish. Considering I was born and raised in California, you would assume that, you know, when it came time for me to learn a foreign language, I took Spanish. You would assume wrong. I took sign language because I figured, why waste 3 years of my life going through a language that I'm never going to remember anyways, when I could just do 2 semesters of sign language and have it count. So I was smart.
And then you can warn people of pizza on a national live broadcast. You didn't hear about that?
No.
Oh, holy cow. Hold on. I got to find the story.
Okay, so while you do that, I'll tell everyone like the literally 5 phrases in Spanish that I know. So obviously, you know, like, hola, right? And I probably say it just like that, like, hola. And then I'm pretty comfortable saying, you know, gracias and like de nada. I know those 2. Look at me go. I know how to count to 10. Maybe. I think.
Oh my God. Okay, I've got it.
I don't know.
It's fucking hilarious. The lead-in headline: Sign language interpreter warned of pizza and bear monsters at Irma briefing.
Oh my God! Wait, pizza and bear monsters? How do you fuck that up? That's amazing. But oh yeah, and like uno cerveza por favor. I know that one. And then also, this is a really important one. Anyone who ever goes to Mexico, and I've traveled to Mexico a couple times, and I've had to use this, and it saved me. ¿Dónde está baños? Where's the bathroom? Always an important question to know. Do I understand what they say in response? Not at all. But that's when, you know, pointing and gestures come in. So then I'll just look at them and be like, no habla español. And that's the extent of my Spanish.
So real quick, to jump on, to piggyback on that little bit of the story, I've discovered in my travels throughout the world, against my will, if you just stand up in a restaurant and just start looking around, they know what you need. They will point you in the right direction. So anyway, so story time. As Hurricane Irma charged toward Florida, officials in a county on the state's west coast held a news conference to inform residents of mandatory evacuation orders for those most at risk. We just need you to be safe, Robin DiSamatino of the Board of County Commissioners in Manatee County said at the September 8th briefing. She urged those in low-lying areas and flood zones to seek higher ground and consider staying in shelters. But for residents who were deaf or hard of hearing, the message was quite different. Pizza, the interpreter appeared to sign, and then bear monster.
Oh my God.
He immediately drew ire on social media as commentators expressed their disbelief.
How do you fuck that up? Like, oh my God.
County Emergency Operations. Who is this person you are using as a sign language interpreter? A woman wrote on the county's Facebook page, adding that people's lives were being endangered. This person is not qualified.
Oh my God.
That's great. The interpreter often appeared unsure of himself and paused frequently. His bright yellow shirt and no for light skins signers who typically wear dark clothing to help their hands stand out didn't help matters.
Oh my God. Right? Yeah, no, if you're light skinned, you know, like me, who I glow in the dark, you wear dark colors
to help your hands
to
stand
help
out.
my hands stand out, right?
So another person commented, I appreciate you for getting an interpreter, but he's wearing bright yellow shirt. No one could see his hands.
All.
It was atrocious, said Howard Rosenblum, the chief executive of the National Association of the Deaf.
Scott Carlson, would have been better if it was accidentally signed Man Bear Pig. I'm cereal.
Mr. Rosenblum, who is deaf, said to an interpreter in a phone interview that the association considered what happened in a violation of the Americans with Disability Act. Quote, we believe that Manatee County failed to provide information to the deaf and hard of hearing community to the same extent that it provided to all others, he said. Experts who reviewed the video said the interpreter spelled the wrong words and gesticulated gibberish.
Oh my God.
Gesticulated gibberish. Mr. Rosenblum tried to decipher the beginning, starting when officials announced the evacuation, but he can only make out a jumble of disconnected phrases. On that news was followed by need evacuate and later pray wait water.
Right.
Joseph
Joseph
also appeared at a news conference later that day wearing the same yellow shirt.
Oh my God. So bad. Joseph says the Red Cross has not helped anyone from Harvey or Irma yet.
Oh, really?
Oh, we're going to have to do some digging during the break. Which, you know, we're going to take now. So, again, going to go on break. And as soon, you know, the feed's going to restart and all that jazz. But, yeah, we're going to look up that article, Joseph. So, thanks for pointing that out to us. So,
Watch out for pizza and bear monsters while you're on break.
and man bear pigs. All right. See you guys soon.
How it is that a hero needs saving, how he needs that support to keep his roof from caving, holding tight on that 45 as a tear drops from his eye. Picturing his mom is all that's kept him alive, cause he's buried his friends and he's buried his thoughts. Suppress these demons inside until his stomach's in knots. I see you on your knees, so please let me give you help, pick you up.
Hungry for another taste. You stumble around the time you waste, and your table's overturned. Sooner or later you crash, then you burn. I think I wanna die tomorrow. And are you gonna be with me? I think I wanna die tomorrow, 'cause I'm out of time and I'm out of my mind. The simple ways come and go. Still I love the way you turn me on, but I just can't find the words, 'cause everything I say sounds so absurd. I think I wanna die tomorrow. Tired of me. Think I wanna live tomorrow. Try to be with me. Think I wanna live tomorrow. It's a matter of time. Now turn my mind. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you need. I don't care about my heart. Just to stare and watch it bleed. I don't wish upon a star. 'Cause I don't care who you are. It's a matter of time. Now turn my mind. You can't save me if I can't save me. And you won't follow if I keep falling in. You won't listen to what I'm saying. 'Cause I'm so broke.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
In the beginning, the canvas is blank. No tears have been cried. Nobody has lied. Far from complacent, just walking on shells. This feeling that love conquers everything else. Until you reach the point in mine. There was a failure to communicate. So sad to leave, but we were forced to wait. Nobody said we had to relate. At the end, it's over. I'm finally sober. I'm finally sober. My only demon, my only regret is that I left you with scars so that you'll never forget. Sick of forgiving my mistakes and my faults. Shattered your glass heart to millions when I ripped it apart. There's nothing left. Love is gone. So there was a failure to communicate. So sad to leave, but we were forced to wait. Nobody said we had to relate. At the end, it's over. I'm finally sober. I'm finally sober. Nobody said we had to relate. At the end it's over, I'm finally sober. Forced to wait, nobody said we had to relate. At the end it's over, I'm finally sober. I'm finally sober.
And we are back for the final hour. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and sticking around. So, I did some research, and because I did not know the sign for hurricane, right? The sign language sign for hurricane. So, I wanted to show you guys that there is quite the difference between pizza and hurricane. All right, so here's pizza. All right, it's really pretty much just finger spelling it. So here's pizza. It's Pizza. That's pizza. Here's the sign for hurricane. All right, ready? Again, nothing alike. I don't know where these guys got their interpreter, but good Lord. Like, it's too easy to get, like, you know, a copy of his speech beforehand. So that way you can go through and be like, okay, so this is what you're going to say. If there's words I don't know, I can look them up.
Well, obviously you can. But apparently not.
Like, how do you fuck that up? You know, pizza, hurricane. There's difference. Like,
we know this. It's established.
mm.
One is delicious. The other causes death.
Right? It just boggles the mind. Oh, that's a good word too. Boggles. Yes.
Yes, boggles.
It's so bad.
Totally.
So, in the last hour, it was brought to our attention that the Red Cross has been lacking in their response and aid to the hurricane victims from Hurricane Harvey and Irma. So, pulled up some articles really quick. And in Houston, the race to tear down and clean up flood-ravaged homes in our area continues for thousands of families. And so does the rush to get financial assistance at this critical time. On Monday morning, people began sharing a link to a new American Red Cross application form allowing flood victims to sign up for the immediate $400 in relief money from the Red Cross. Angela Thompson of Bel Air applied to get help for her mother and father who had their home invaded by more than 4 feet of water, requiring them to be rescued by boat. But within minutes, Thompson said, she was informed the application was denied. I put in there that their place was unlivable, and I put that they were in a shelter for 5 days and that they are displaced and needed medical assistance. She said her mother and father were denied any help. She wants to know why, since they lost so much within hours. She says she thinks it's wrong. They are in their 70s. My dad served this country. He's a veteran who fought in Vietnam and Korea. If anyone deserves it, they do. In the Maryland Estate subdivision near Meyerland, Leslie, I don't know. And her husband, Travis, suffered thousands of dollars in damages. Leslie also applied for help through the new Red Cross application and was immediately approved for $400. She said she applied at 9:30 a.m. Monday, and 6 minutes later, she got an email telling her to pick up her money at a nearby Walmart store. So late Monday, the American Red Cross told Channel 2 investigators that the charity had already distributed $45 million in those $400 relief packages to more than 100,000 homes. Some people have complained about not being given access to the application form to sign up for the program. The Red Cross said that it is aware of problems with the website and is working to correct them. They said because of high volume, the website could not take some applications any further on the site. The Red Cross is asking for future applicants to be patient because of the high volume and reminded them that they have 30 days to sign up. Now, that was from a local Texas, like Houston news source.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still confused as to why the one family got denied.
I don't know. I find it interesting that anybody would be denied while they're going through this. I mean, if you go back to like Katrina, I mean, they're literally throwing money at people for the time. So again, I don't know why that's not the case right now. But the other problem that was discovered with Katrina is that people were taking advantage of the entire system itself.
True.
I remember one story being read that there was somebody that was actually they're in Utah or Idaho or something, so nowhere near Katrina's impact area, but yet they were able to get themselves qualified for Katrina relief funds because somehow the storm impacted them.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they were able to get themselves and their business qualified for emergency relief, Katrina emergency relief funds, and they were nowhere near the impact area, obviously, because they were in Idaho or Utah or some shit out west. Yeah, so I could understand that there could be hiccups in the system, like if you hit a keyword wrong or whatever, and then the high volume thing, that could be a legit issue. That could be a no hell, what am I trying to say? That's a legitimate issue that the site could be facing. I mean, it happened to the main page just the other day. We read a story, and literally, the story gained so much traction that that I think it brought down the where it's being held at the moment. I don't know what it's called. It's yeah, the interwebs broke. No, hey now, there are no sex tapes that I know of on the main page. In theory, well, we'd have to check with some of the other artists and contributors to the main page for some. But no, I mean, so I could easily see that volume to the paid volume of traffic to the site being a major issue. But that is something that should have been projected and dealt with as needed. So, but yeah, no, it's these people can't get their help fast enough, and that should be the whole focus, is that they need their help and they need it fucking time now. Allegedly.
Hey. Can't hear you, darling. Can't hear you, darling.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Let's try this again. Shit. So, people have turned to the city's George R. Brown Convention Center for a place to stay following Harvey. Tell KHOU 11 News there are growing frustrations inside aimed at the Red Cross. The complaints range from food to safety to concerns of money. A man by the name of David Walker has been at the shelter for 12 days and says getting help inside has been very hard. Quote, I've been going to the Red Cross every day, calling them. They're saying the system is crashing. The Red Cross admitted the website the organization uses to help those in need has been overwhelmed. But a spokesperson said the problem is being fixed. KHOU 11 News shared the concerns from those in the shelter about the food being served to them after evacuees said the food was making them sick. That spokesperson promised to look into the complaints and sent this news channel this statement about rumors circulating on social media. Unfortunately, these statements appear to stem from misinformation found repeatedly on social media. Here is some information of what the Red Cross is doing to support those affected by Hurricane Harvey. Nearly 3 weeks since Hurricane Harvey devastated parts of Texas and Louisiana, thousands of people remain in emergency shelters, while many more are cleaning up their flooded homes. The American Red Cross is there providing food, shelter, relief supplies, and comfort to people affected by the devastating storm. Thanks to our generous donors, the Red Cross is providing financial assistance to Texas households that were severely impacted by Harvey and need help taking care of emergency needs. Right now, we are in the initial phase of this effort and are experiencing an exceedingly high demand. We know this is frustrating and ask people to please be patient. On September 11th, we provided $45 million in financial assistance to more than 100,000 qualified households who needed immediate help. The Red Cross is prepared to provide financial assistance to hundreds of thousands of households. The financial assistance is in addition to other emergency relief efforts going on in Texas, which include sheltering, food, and other critical emergency immediate support. We have been on the ground in Texas since before Harvey made landfall, and we will get to those affected back on their feet. The Red Cross is a charity, not a government agency, and people do not need to be American citizens to receive our assistance. The Red Cross continues to provide shelter, food, comfort, and emergency support. The Red Cross is providing shelter and comfort, food and relief, supplies, health services, and emotional support and spiritual care, along with financial assistance to the hardest hit areas across Texas and Louisiana. And it goes on and on and on and on.
Right. So that whole, I'm looking at that same story, and that whole list goes on and on. So the one thing I want to try and drive home with everybody is that the Red Cross is made up of a lot of volunteers.
It is.
There are very few professionals that are at these sites usually. Usually they're volunteers. Usually they're part of the same, cloth of people that were affected, so they can, show empathy and whatnot, and they understand what everybody's going through. What everybody's getting impatient, and I got it. I can't even imagine what some of these people are going through and what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
However, things take time. Okay, it was a huge disaster, 50 plus inches of water. Things take time, right? It takes time to get these things in place, to get everything distributed as needed. Guy, the people that are affected, I got it. I can only imagine what you guys are trying to go through and what you're trying to deal with down there. But it takes time. Obviously, the money's coming in. Obviously, there are people that are still donating to it. And obviously, there are people that are donating their time to be a part of the Red Cross to try and help everybody that's down there. And there's a great quote down towards the bottom of the article is that the massive disasters like Hurricane Harvey create more needs than any one organization can meet on their own. The Red Cross is working very closely with the entire response community, government agencies, other nonprofit groups, faith-based organizations, area businesses, and others to coordinate emergency relief efforts and to get help to those people as quickly as possible. Again, this thing was huge and affected a lot of people. And it takes time, guys. Okay? I got it. Everybody's pissed off. Everybody thinks that their needs are more important. It's just like being on the highway. Everybody thinks that they're so much more important than everybody else around them. But it's not. Be patient and work with everybody. Got it.
Right. So hopefully, I don't know. I hope everyone gets the help that they deserve here soon. You know, I understand it takes a lot.
But this goes back to it'll take forever, just like Katrina did.
Right.
It'll take seemingly what seems like it'll be many years as people are still dealing with this, but eventually they'll come to a homeostasis and be going forward again.
Well, I know you wanted to talk about the soldiers from Fort Bragg.
Yeah, so I pulled that up the other day. For those of you who are not tracking, there was an incident at Fort Bragg. The story is as follows. 2 Fort Bragg soldiers and a third man have been arrested and charged with murdering 2 men they allegedly were trying to rob in a North Carolina restaurant parking lot. Fayetteville Police Department announced Saturday that the arrest of 20-year-old Ferris Brown, 19-year-old Javier Rashad Johnson, and 19-year-old Davion Tahij Chambers on charges of first-degree murder, robbery with a dangerous weapon, and conspiracy to commit robbery. Brown and Johnson are active duty soldiers at Fort Bragg. Brown is with the 117th Cavalry Regiment. Johnson's with the 2504 82nd Airborne Division. According to police, Chambers is from Fayetteville. All 3 men were jailed without bond, and it is not known if they have attorneys. They were accused of killing 18-year-old Deron Therese Cook and 32-year-old Jonathan David Goodman, who were found in a parked car on September 5. As officers conducted security checks, Cook was pronounced dead at the scene. Goodman died at the hospital on September 7th. Their car was parked outside a Smoky Bones restaurant in Fayetteville.
So, this is like an assassination type killing.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, they would have shot him in their car trying to rob him or carjack him.
Oh, bless you. Sorry. Jenna
So,
sneezed.
What got into these soldiers that would drive them to do this? I mean, seriously, you're 19 years old, right? 19, 20 years old. Your whole life literally in front of you, and possibly a great career that you can retire from. And you go out and you do something like this. What I don't understand what's wrong was I don't get it. How do you join the military into an institution that has, discipline and camaraderie and all these things? And yeah, it sucks. And yeah, you get up early in the morning to do BT. And yeah, you go on road marches for that seem like forever. But for crying out loud, why put yourself in that situation to begin with as a soldier?
I don't know. Well, okay, I do know. I have a guess, and it's probably going to label me as, a a lot of things. And I'm okay with that. All three suspects were black, correct?
Yes.
Right? In that mugshot that I saw on the main page. Oh God, this is gonna sound so bad. Fuck it. So maybe they were involved in that sort of like gangbanger thing before they joined the army, and apparently just couldn't give up that sort of lifestyle. And I don't know, I guess it's an adrenaline rush. I've never held a gun up to somebody trying to rob them. I can like say that is something I have, like, you know, that game Never Have I Ever. Confidently can say I have never done that. So, but I guess I can see how that could be almost like an adrenaline rush. And maybe that they were fucking missing that. I don't know. But I do remember, you know, you hear a lot, especially on the enlisted side, especially like in basic, and when I went through AIT, we still had drill sergeants. It was, oh, you think you're back on the block? You think you're back at your home, like back in your hood? No, you're not. And, you know, like all that shit, right? So maybe these guys were trying to get back into that sort of lifestyle. And instead of escaping the environment that they, you know, possibly have grew up in, instead of escaping that and then, you know, taking that opportunity to better themselves and to, you know, have a positive life, you know, and use the military to get them away from that sort of environment, they went back to it. Again, I don't know. I just assuming.
Right.
Can I say something?
No. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, basic training is basically indoctrination. I mean, if you're taught a certain way in life for, you know, the first 18 years of your life, 8 weeks is not going to, you know, teach everybody a new way of life.
Yeah.
I mean, it works for most, obviously. We all, like, you know, me, you, Great Cloud, we all, you know, had successful military careers for the time that we were in. But it's not going to work for absolutely everybody. 8 weeks is not enough time to teach absolutely everybody a new way of life. You know, it's not going to turn everyone green, basically.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying, Minx, and I agree with you. Like, it's not going to work on absolutely everybody.
Yeah.
I'll see that.
So then what would be the solution then? Because, you know, like, we've got friends who are, you know, recruiters and whatnot, and that's one of the areas they recruit from is from, like, you know, these lower income areas where there is a lot of crime prevalent in that environment. So, you know, they get these recruits and whatnot to come in and, you know, offer them, you know, hey, this is an escape from, you know, what you're in. We can get you out. We can, like, you know, you'll see the fucking world and we'll pay for college, you know, all this stuff. And they sell you, like, you know, they whisper all these sweet nothings in your ear and they sell you on it. And so you join. But then, you know, why is it that they then would not grasp at that opportunity and take it to its fullest advantage? You know? Does that make sense?
Right.
Did I say that correctly?
Right. Another theory I've got is that somebody sent me a message on is that they could have been gang members who joined just to get training.
Oh, I need my tin foil.
No, that's happened. There are criminal cases that are proven that that's happened.
God, I'm so fucking naive. I really
but yeah,
am.
I mean that could be one of those theories as well. But yeah, again, you don't know. Will we ever know? Probably not. And it sucks because those families will never get the total closure of the why. And that's really what families want.
Yeah.
Is they want, to help close that out and stuff. Right. So on something a little bit more happier. Well, I don't know if it's much happier. So earlier in the show tonight, we talked about the $700 billion Defense Authorization Act being passed. It passed in the Senate by an 89-8 vote. Now, here's my question before we go any further on this one. 89-8. Who are the asshole senators that would vote not to fund the military and pay soldiers?
McCain.
No, actually, I don't think he'd vote against the Defense Authorization Act. But I know we can find it. But, I mean, come on. How is that not always a bill that gets passed without regard for anything else? That bill should always pass with no issue. Always. But to do the story. So, as we know, the $700 billion Defense Authorization Act passed the Senate by a vote of 89-8. In it, troops would get a 2.1% pay raise in 2018 under the Senate bill. Now, there's a couple other things about that. The bill is 1,215 pages long.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
I would like to propose a bill that no future bill is longer than, 100 pages.
They've tried that before and it just doesn't work.
Why can it not work?
I don't know, but yeah. Anyways.
Honestly, because none of those senators took the time to read the entire thing. They gave it to their aides and they said, "Give me the Cliff Notes."
Right. That's why they have staffs.
But again, you don't know what if your staff has the same viewpoint as you do. They could say it on their application and in their fucking interview because, again, people will fucking do anything to get a job. And especially one where they can help influence a senator or a congressman. And so if these aides are like, I don't agree with this bill, they can give their fucking Cliff Notes in a negative tone and be like, oh, you don't fucking want this. This is not a good thing. There's many things in here that you do not agree with. And then that senator, instead of taking the time to fucking read through it, him or herself, just takes it upon their word. So again, and with how many goddamn vacations those bastards up in Capitol Hill get, they should take the time to read every single page of a 2,000-page law. You've got the motherfucking time. Don't tell me you don't. Sorry, okay, I was ranting.
It's all good. So the bill is now heads to what's a closed-door negotiation with the House lawmakers known as the conference, in which they try to cram the two different bills into a single bill to go before President Trump to get his signature later this year. Trump supported a 2.1% pay raise, which is 3%, a 0.3 percentage point lower than the 2.4% passed by the House. So that is something they will also, work out in the negotiation as they try to cram the two bills into a single bill. Now, here's one that's going to, hopefully fire everybody up. Proposed BAH cut. The Senate's version would cap the amount of housing allowance dual military couples with dependents can receive. Currently, the higher-ranking spouse receives that allowance at the with dependents rates, while the lower-ranking spouse receives it at the without dependents rate. The Senate proposal would instead require that both receive the without dependent rate. As a result, affected troops could see several $100s less in their paychecks per month. Officials estimate that the change to the housing allowance benefit could save the Pentagon about $52 million in fiscal year 2018, which starts October 1. Now, What that is saying is that, yes, we know you both work very hard, but we're going to punish you for being married to another service member.
Right. So
We're not going to pay you because you're married to another service member, so we're going to take the amount of money that we're going to pay you for that. Because, we're saying that we can do that, you don't deserve as much money.
is that passed?
That is in the Senate version of the bill.
Yeah, no, speak up, Spanky. Come on.
All right. Okay. So first of all, being part of a dual military couple for, quite a few years of my life, I earned my own benefits and so did he. Okay. So let's just roll this back just a little bit. So how many roommates do we have that are, single members of the, in the military that live together? Me and my ex-husband were roommates before we got married, and he got his BAH and I got mine. Also, what's the difference? He earned his own benefits, I earned mine. What is the difference? At that time, we did not have a child, so we both got without dependents. I do understand that only one should get with dependents because that is kind of double dipping. And I'm just getting angry now because, again, each one of us serves in the military and we each earn our own benefits. And I don't think that they should be looking, at those pennies basically to, try to save money.
Yeah. That's the electric is they say it's $52 million. It's a $700 billion budget. That's a drop in the bucket for them.
Right.
All right. And just because we got married, now we're going to lose money. And I'm looking back to what's the difference that now we got married, now we're going to lose money. But if we would have just stayed roommates, how would they know? I even look back now, I know so many of my LTs that, I've worked with and stuff that are young and not married and everything, but they don't live in the barracks and they get BAH without dependents, but they all live together, not all of them, but, they're all roommates, and have a roommate or two in bigger houses, but they all get BAH without dependent rates. So it's the same thing. They're not paying, for their own households or anything else. They're sharing those expenses. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. So now just because this married couple is living together, yes, if they have children, only one of them gets that higher rate. Oh, sorry. I have so many issues with this. They can all just fuck off and look for somewhere else to save money.
No, I agree.
I love it.
I think that they should, I think you should stick all lieutenants in the barracks.
Oh, yes. Yes. Fuck yes. Do it.
I don't even see a problem with that. I mean, they can build those little apartment complexes like they have in Korea just for, lieutenants. They don't have to live with the privates. They can live with the other lieutenants. But
oh, look at that. Hold on, Steph. Look at that. Steph and Mixer Live went and got those 8 senators that voted against it.
To include Rubio.
Yeah.
Well, of course Sanders voted against it.
Yeah. So.
And Paul from Kentucky.
So there must have been something in there that they didn't like, or they didn't get their pork barrel attachment to it, or whatever.
Right.
So here's my whole take on that. They want to punish again, and it's not tied to any rank or whatever. It's just service members in general that they want to do the BAH things for dual service members for BAH. Again, why not put lieutenants in the barracks? Because here's the thing. You take the average age of somebody brand new joining the service, okay? Usually under 24 years old, single male, right? What separates a 22-year-old private from a 22-year-old lieutenant.
As far as maturity wise or education wise? Education, the lieutenant's got a degree.
Got it. He's got a degree, right? But he is at the same
Maturity level and mindset as an enlisted.
right. But yet, because he is a commissioned officer, he is dubbed with all this extra responsibility. Got it. Understood. I don't hate them for that. However, they're still a 24-year-old, 22-year-old, whatever you want to call them. Stick their asses in the barracks. Think about all. Here you go. Think about all the lieutenants that are running around drawing BAH. Pull their BAH and stick their asses in the barracks if they're single.
Right. Oh my god. Oh, we were talking about that at work today. So I work with a lot of veterans actually, and one of the CRNAs that I worked with today, she was a CRNA in the Army, and our doc was asking me, our doc's a civilian, never served, and he was asking us, like, oh, what's the difference between like commissioned and enlisted? And I was like, well, one's an officer, like he gets commissioned by the President of the United States to be an officer. The others just is not, like they went to their local recruiter and just joined. But I was telling him, I was like, because my CRNA would also, she would have to like go to like naval stations, I guess, or whatever, or like call them or whatnot. But when she was a captain, a captain in the Army is completely different than a captain in the Navy. Captain in the Navy is an 06. So our equivalent of a full bird. So, like, if she would call, like, a Navy hospital and be like, hey, this is Captain so-and-so, the respect would be a lot different than if she had just called, an Army unit. It's like, oh, this is Captain so-and-so. The Army unit, we'd be like, okay, and? Whereas Navy, they would be like, oh, my God, right?
Yes.
And so my doc was asking, like, well, what the fuck is a captain? I was like, captain is the first officer rank that gets taken seriously by anyone enlisted. It's true. It's fucking true. And know it is.
Unless they know that their prior service.
Yes. Okay. Yes. That's like the little asterisk. Like, if they're prior service, which you can always tell who the prior service, like the prior enlisted officers are. You can always fucking tell. If they're prior enlisted, even if you're a fucking butterbar, sure, I'll listen to you because I know you know what you're fucking talking about. But I told my doc, I was like, if I was fucking walking around and I see some brand new goddamn butterbar try to tell me what to do, even as an E4, I'd be like, you can go fuck yourself. Like, who the fuck are you? 1, 2, you have no idea what you're talking about. 3, go away. But I'd say it, in a respectful manner, and I'd still salute them, but I'd be like, you don't know how to fucking Army, so don't talk to me and tell me what I need to do for the Army, because you're wrong. Ugh. Fucking butter bars.
Now. Thanks.
What?
They do good things. I mean, come on.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. And Stefan and Mixer Live's got a good point. The Navy captain would have his secretary call.
That's true. Right? Hi, I need to make an appointment for Captain so-and-so. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's an E4? Well, that depends on what service you're in.
In the Army, it's the junior mafia.
We are the mafia in the Army. Like, let's not get it twisted. As a proud member of that mafia for a long time.
But and it's not secretary, it's administrative assistant.
Right? Secretary is a sexist term, and you're a bigot.
Offend anybody while we're on the mixer.
Right? We cannot offend the mixer gods. They shall denounce us.
And maybe turn us off.
Right? Well, it's about that time to do some housekeeping.
Already done? Wow.
Dude, I know, right?
It's a good show tonight.
Right? I had fun.
It was a good night.
So, as everyone I'm assuming now. So, as most of you know, we do a show 7 nights a week. So, tonight is Tied Up Tuesday with myself, Minx. And down there in the corner is Gray Cloud. I know, I put you in a corner.
Yeah, it's okay, though.
Tomorrow is WTF Wednesday with Jim Beam and Pookie. Thursday is Sergeant's Time with Ice, Mike Golf, and Doc Madness. Friday is Friday Night Freedom with myself and Mud Puppy. Saturday is Saturday Night Savagery with Jay Reddy and Pookie. And remember, the world is supposed to end on Saturday, according to a group of Christians, because allegedly a planet is supposed to collide with Earth, and that's how the world ends. So make sure to tune in to Saturday Night Savagery for complete apocalyptic coverage of the end of the world. We'll be the only ones doing it, I'm sure.
Again, Jay Reddy, if you get live shots of the planets colliding, then
right? Oh, yes.
I get the boss to give you the day off.
Right. We'll let you have Sunday off.
Let you have the day of rest off.
And then we have Monday, and that is the Monday edition with Ice and Cuffs. And next Wednesday, September 27th, we have Laura Bauer from Operation Family Caregiver. Operation Family Caregiver coaches the families of returning service members and veterans to manage the difficulties they face when they come home. OFC is a personalized program tailored specifically for the struggles of each family. Through proven methods, the program teaches military families how best to navigate their challenges, resulting in stronger and healthy families. So that'll be a good show. And then, we're getting more guests. I'm so excited. Sorry, I only saw the first one. I was like, oh, that's it. But no, there's more. Right? But wait, there's more. On the 28th of September, so next Thursday, Keith David from Task Force Dagger is going to be on. Now, Task Force Dagger Foundation provides assistance to wounded, ill, and or injured U.S. Special Operations Command members and their families. They respond to urgent needs, conduct recreational therapy, adaptive events, and provide next-generation health solutions for issues facing our service members. They are a rallying point to combat TBI, PTS, and environmental exposures. Their cohesive programs enable families to seize the moment and live. On October 3rd, we're getting a guest. Gray Cloud?
What?
Yeah. So October 3rd, which is a Tuesday, we have Nikki, Rohit, Rorig, sure, from Military Working Dog Team Support Association. Incorporated. Forgot the ink. So, MWD Team Support Association is a nonprofit organization that supports military working dog teams by a variety of means. Some of these are care packages, handler recognitions, hero dog awards, veteran dog handler cause support, and support for memorials. Their causes are great and their organization may be small, but it is mighty. They make an impact daily on the lives of dogs and handlers, both veterans and active duty. I have a lot of canine handler buddies. I'm going to have to be like, you need to listen. And then Friday, October 6th, we have Brian Jacobs from Vets to Success. Vets to Success is a nonprofit program that creates programs for veterans to rehabilitate through food and brew programs. What?
That's what I'm talking about.
Right? Go on. This organization's purpose is to inspire, mentor, educate, and change the lives of homeless and displaced veterans and impact the communities in which they live. This program was created after the loss of the founder's younger brother to veteran suicide, as well as the founder's personal battle with readjusting back to his local community. With food and brew as his guiding passion, he shows veterans a path they too can share and have a new purpose in life through something they love. Oh, I'm so excited for those last two, mostly because they're on my shows. But I'm like excited for all of our guests, but I'm really excited for mine.
That'll be a really good show.
I'm biased because they're my shows, so.
Our.
Okay, well, one of them is ours.
Exactly.
Ugh, God, whatever. Semantics.
You know what? It's going to be nice and get you some cookies.
Ah, cookies.
No.
Oh, you're such a tease. No, seriously though, like the way to my heart is like brownies and like cake and snacks and wine.
Wine.
Yes, I got to throw that one out there. Okay, so speaking of, all right, so real quick before we leave, as everyone could see, I had been drinking wine tonight, and I got criticized earlier by the amount of how much wine I put into my glass. And like, you know how in restaurants they only like fill it up to like, you know, here. Oh, I need to wash my glass. I've been touching it too much. Here, we'll do this one, you know, like, so they only fill it up to like there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when I pour wine, like it's up to there.
Okay.
You know? And so every time I go out to like a restaurant and I order wine and they only put, you know, like a little bit in there, I'm like, hold on, one of us is doing this wrong. And I'm 99% sure it's you. Like there's still 3/4 of a glass that is empty. Like, let's go. Let's fill this bitch up. Like, come on now. You're making me pay fucking $30 for, you know, a fucking glass. Like, let's go. Like, I want $30 worth of fucking wine. But, you know.
Okay, so I'm going to educate you why you're wrong.
Ugh. You're wrong.
No.
Yes.
So, a standard pour of wine is 4 or 5 ounces.
Why?
Because it goes back to alcohol content in a glass of wine.
Okay, but why?
Oh, I'm not done.
Exactly, Spanky. Pass me the bottle.
So
Oh,
that's
I
a
would
standard
love wine.
pour. Now, wine is more than just the liquid. It's the aromas and the flavors. So the nose and the tongue work together to give you a good balance and to give you the maximum of the wine. So you need that space, that airspace in the glass that you want filled.
No, I agree with Dale. The standard pour one is dumb. It's dumb. It is no. And then Scott Carlson says, Gray, make sure you hold your pinky up when you're talking about wine etiquette. And don't forget about the legs of the wine.
And if you can tell me where legs come from, I'll give you points.
Oh, wait, what are points worth?
I decide what they're worth.
Oh.
Scott can tell me actually what the legs mean. Then I'll give him a couple points.
Oh.
And we're not talking airborne.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway.
Anyways, well, it was a good show,
It was a good 3 hours.
right? Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, we will see you guys next week on Tuesday for Tied Up Tuesday. And yeah, I don't know. Just, it's going to be a good day. So have a great rest of your day and have a phenomenal Wednesday, you guys. I will see you Friday. So bye. Oh, wait.
What?